Is it OK to use your period as an excuse for anything?
Well, there's two things there, isn't there? She's appealing against sanitary products being subjected to VAT. Quite right, too. It is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't like is her saying, sorry, I'm late, I'm on my period. Because for me, that's saying that a period is something that makes you late, that makes you not on time for your job.
Like, if I had a migraine, I could ring up my work and say, I've got a really bad migraine, and they would happily say, do you know what, don't come in, it's not worth it, get yourself better. If I came on my period and had excruciating period pains or leaked through and had to get changed and that made me late or whatever, you know, it's still something that I can't control that's happening to me. So why wouldn't it be a good enough excuse?
Because I think that already... periods and the menstrual cycle are used against women. I mean, I come from a very male-dominated work environment. You know, I'm a lot older than you are. Journalism, when I joined it, I was literally one of the very few women in that environment. I would never have walked into work and said, I'm late because of my period, because all of the men in that room probably already think, oh, women, you know, when they go, oh, God, it's that time of the week, or I'm not going to add to that by...
Well, what about challenging it, Jane? What about, it might not add to it, but what about challenging it and
Well,
saying
because, you know, maybe I'm lucky I didn't have bad periods. I just kind of took it in my stride.
But it's not just the physical side, is it, as well, of it? It's like you say about challenging it. I mean, I didn't have... you know, 100 years ago when I had them, I didn't have painful physical periods, but my mental health was desperately affected premenstrually, and then, like with you, with severe postnatal depression. And I remember when I was doing... I think it was Corrie or something, and I was really very mentally ill. But at the time, I would never say, you know, if I'd had something really physically wrong with me, I would have thought nothing about going in and saying it. But because it was related to my menstrual cycle, I used to think, oh, you know, they won't accept that I'm really poorly because of this.
Yeah.
So it was...
it just does seem weird, doesn't it, that we wouldn't acknowledge that something that happens to your body physiologically...
No, I'm not saying don't acknowledge it.
No, but
I would be quite happy to go, oh, I've
what
got
you're saying, though,
today.
about all of the men in our lives...
Associating it with being late.
Saying, oh, you're grumpy.
You know, not turning up on time. So if you were at a job interview and you didn't turn up on time for the job interview and you said to the panel interviewing you, sorry, I'm late, I've got my period, but in their heads they would go, oh, we're not employing her.
But in that blasé way, I do think that... I know exactly what you're saying, but, for example, I could be late because, you know, I don't know, I could have a car, someone could go into the back of my car on the way in. I could also be late because I'd got dressed and had to change because I just started my period. And why wouldn't that be acceptable to say to somebody?
Do you know what, Stacey?
It's something
You've done the same
control.
thing that you do to me so many times, but you do make me just think in a different way, and I love that, because until you've said that this morning, I'm very much also... Maybe it's a generational thing. Where
the show must go on. I can't say it.
Don't mention your period because everyone will judge me for having a period.
I'm not ashamed of having it. I would be quite happy to mention. I just wouldn't. But the same thing that I would, you know, if I had had too much to drink the night before, I'd still turn up the next day. I wouldn't turn up and go, I'm late because I've got a hangover.
But would you turn up late if you couldn't get off the toilet because you'd had the runs? Would you say that? Would you say I've had the runs?
I wouldn't say
I've got the runs.
I wouldn't go in. I'd ring up and go, I can't come in because I can't leave the toilet.
But I get what Stacey's...
I don't want to build up the thing that the menstrual cycle is a disability.
But it can be. It can sometimes.
Mentally and physically.
It can be, and I think, you know, my stepdaughter will on occasion has passed out from the pain of her periods.
But that's very rare.
Yeah, but I think what Stacey is saying is a good thing for us to think about, because are we really supporting that kind of sexism where we can't discuss our periods in any way because it's a bit ick?
No, I think we can discuss them. I just wouldn't go into the Houses of Parliament and say, I am late
I mean, she was doing it to make that
exactly
point, and I think she was rather brave to do that, to be perfectly honest.
But we would
bring up
the
such
point
a
of
huge
the
issue.
taxing sanitary products, I'm right with you.
Yeah.
But don't correlate it with being unreliable.
But I do think that there can be a reason. You could have been made late by coming on your period or by having a period. I do think it's a valid reason. And I'm with you, because I would still be embarrassed to say to somebody, and why am I don't know, but I'd be embarrassed to say to somebody, I've bled through. You know, like I've come on a period and I had to change and I was late.
Yeah.
I'd rather
But there was
say
no
I've got the
explanation. It
runs,
was just,
which is
I am
strange.
late because I've got my... So then if a boss or whoever in the workplace would go, oh, right, so you're going to be late every single month, are you? Because
Yeah.
it's just like something, for me, that puts women on the back foot a bit when, you know, we're fighting for equality in the workplace. So...
Oh, I love it. Loads to think. I'm going to be thinking about this all the way home.